Amsterdam's red light district is a paradox, a place where centuries of desire, commerce, and morality collide. Behind its neon glow lies a story far older than the city itself. Tonight, we unravel the complex history of this notorious neighborhood, from ancient temples to modern-day debates about freedom and exploitation. To understand the red light district, we must first confront humanity's oldest tensions: sacred and profane, power and vulnerability, survival and stigma. This isn't just about sex, it's about how societies have struggled to control what they cannot eradicate. Long before Amsterdam existed, prostitution was intertwined with religion and survival. In Sumer, around 2000 BCE, priestesses performed sacred sex rituals in temples dedicated to Inanna, the goddess of love and war. These acts were believed to ensure fertility and prosperity, a divine exchange between mortals and gods. By 1750 BCE, Babylon's Code of Hammurabi formalized protections for sex workers, acknowledging their role in society. Yet even then, hierarchies existed. Temple priestesses held status, while street workers faced scorn. This duality, reverence, and revulsion would echo through the ages. In ancient Greece, the hetaira, educated courtesans, dined with philosophers and influenced politics. Meanwhile, the porn, derived from the word to sell, labored in brothels, invisible to history. Rome also normalized prostitutes known as lupai, who serviced soldiers and citizens but were barred from respectability. These ancient worlds reveal a pattern. Societies have always profited from prostitution while punishing those who provide it. Amsterdam would inherit this contradiction, but with a twist. By the Middle Ages, the church faced a crisis: how to reconcile Christian morals with the reality of prostitution. Theologian Thomas Aquinas offered a chilling metaphor. Prostitution is like a sewer system. Remove it, and the city drowns in filth. Sex work became a necessary evil, tolerated to protect virtuous women and social order. For the women themselves, life was perilous. Many were widows, orphans, or refugees from poverty, driven to the streets by desperation. Disease, violence, and societal shame were constants. Yet in Amsterdam, a new approach began to take shape. Founded in 1213, the Oude Kerk became the heart of a growing port city. Sailors flooded in from across the globe, and with them came demand for taverns, lodging, and companionship. By the 14th century, brothels clustered near the docks, the birth of the red light district. The church condemned sin, but pragmatism prevailed. Authorities adopted gedogen, a Dutch philosophy of tolerating vice to maintain control. Brothels were confined to specific areas, taxed and monitored. It wasn't compassion, it was strategy. During the Dutch Golden Age in the 17th century, Amsterdam thrived as a commercial hub, attracting merchants, sailors, and adventurers from around the world. The red light district flourished alongside this prosperity, with brothels and taverns catering to the city's growing population. Unlike other European cities, where prostitution was clandestine, Amsterdam's approach was pragmatic. The authorities regulated and taxed the industry while ensuring it remained in designated areas. Records from the era show that some courtesans achieved wealth and status, forming relationships with influential men in society. However, this era of relative acceptance was not without consequences. The influx of wealth also brought crime, exploitation, and disease. The rise of sexually transmitted infections, particularly syphilis, led to stricter regulations. Despite these measures, stigma persisted, and many sex workers faced marginalization. Napoleon's invasion of 1810 brought radical change. His regime introduced medical inspections for sex workers, a red card for the healthy, a white card for the diseased. The red card system gave the district its iconic glow, but it also reduced women to commodities. their bodies policed by the state. By 1816, over 3,000 women worked Amsterdam's streets. The Industrial Revolution deepened inequalities, trapping many in cycles of poverty. Yet the city's Gedogen policy endured, evolving into a precursor of modern legalization. The red card became more than a health certificate. It marked a compromise between regulation and repression, offering limited protections while reinforcing state control. This uneasy balance would shape the future of sex work in Amsterdam. The 20th century brought seismic shifts. The two world wars disrupted Amsterdam's sex industry, with periods of economic depression forcing many into prostitution for survival. The post-war economic boom led to modernization, and by the 1960s, the district became more organized. The rise of countercultural movements and the sexual revolution led to greater acceptance of sex work. The introduction of legal frameworks in the late 20th century aimed to protect workers, but challenges remained. The 1980s AIDS crisis further intensified these challenges, highlighting the urgent need for sexual health awareness and the protection of vulnerable groups. The epidemic underscored the precarious position of sex workers, prompting a stronger focus on safe sex practices and the fight against stigma. This period not only shifted public health conversations, but also fueled legal and social reforms, paving the way for more comprehensive protections for sex workers in the years that followed. In 2000, the Netherlands fully legalized prostitution. Sex workers gained labor rights. They register as entrepreneurs, pay taxes, and rent 150 euros a day window booths. Supporters view it as a step forward, while critics argue it conceals ongoing exploitation. Today, the red light district is both a tourist attraction and a battleground for policy debates. The district still features its historic cobblestone streets, neon-lit windows, and a mixture of modern businesses catering to visitors. However, the city has also witnessed growing concerns over human trafficking and organized crime. The Dutch government estimates that around 70% of sex workers in the district are migrants, some of whom may be working under coercion. In response, Amsterdam has introduced stricter regulations, including licensing requirements and increased police oversight. Gentrification is also reshaping the area. Property values have skyrocketed, and some local businesses have been replaced by upscale establishments. Recent proposals include relocating window prostitution to designated erotic centers outside the city center to reduce the impact of mass tourism and protect workers from exploitation. Critics argue that this could push the industry further underground, making conditions more dangerous for workers. The red light district resists easy categorization. Here, a 17th century church stands next to a Buddhist temple, and spaces once hidden from the law, like an LGBTQ+ bar, have existed in plain sight. This blend of history, spirituality, and defiance captures Amsterdam's complex identity, a city where virtue and vice coexist, where struggles for inclusion have shaped the present. For sex workers, breaking free from exploitation goes beyond mere symbolism. It requires real, systemic change. Today, Amsterdam's approach is under the global spotlight. Is its model of legalization a success or a warning? While Sweden criminalizes buyers, Germany regulates brothels, and Spain remains uncertain, the Netherlands defends its system as a harm reduction strategy, even as it acknowledges the vulnerabilities many workers still face. The red light district is not just a collection of brothels. It's a reflection of globalization, gender dynamics, and the intersection of profit and morality. To call it empowering ignores those trapped here. To call it evil ignores those who choose it. The truth lies in the tension. In 2019, a government study found that 68% of Amsterdam's sex workers had experienced violence at work. Despite legal protections, coercion remains a major concern, with the city's mayor proposing to move window prostitution away from the tourist-heavy center in an effort to curb trafficking. For 800 years, this district has mirrored our deepest contradictions: fear and desire, control and freedom. Its red lights ask us uncomfortable questions. Who gets to sell their body? Who gets to judge? And in a world where profit trumps morality, can any light truly be pure? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating videos right here on Histopedia. See you next time.